Alright, what is going on YouTube and of course the Twitch viewers? Vietnam Strategy B versus Vietnam Legends. First half of the deciders for Empire Wars Duo 2 today. We'll have another set today, and tomorrow there will be two more sets on Friday. Saturday is the quarterfinals and Sunday is the semifinals and grand finals. So this is Group A. We have two Vietnamese teams in here. ACCM+BacT are the favorites, but Vietnam Strategy B, BadBoy and SongSong are definitely gonna have their shot in this one. So I'm curious. I'm really curious how this is going to shape out. I think, as I said before, I think it's like a 70% chance for ACCM+BacT in this one. But BadBoy and SongSong seem to have a little bit more chemistry together. We'll see what they can actually muscle out of this one. They do have Bohemians, probably for Canberra. I'm curious what they can do with this one. Considering that now we have seen a couple of rounds being played on these maps, some teams will try to adapt strategies that have been used by other teams. So maybe we are going to see the Bohemian Hussite Wagon into fast team play that we have seen from Slam, being done by BadBoy and SongSong. So with that being said, we will jump into the first game of the day. So welcome to Arabia. We're gonna have down south BadBoy as Chinese in yellow, and to the left of him it's gonna be SongSong as red Franks. It's going to be Mayans for BacT in blue, as the Archer Civilization for Vietnam Legends, and Huns for ACCM in green. Interesting choice to go Huns over here, because considering how many hybrid maps we have, and considering that we have Cape of Storms, it's a bit of a surprise we're not seeing Huns. I assume Magyars will be the pick there, but still, this is the first time I think we're seeing Huns on Arabia. It's not because Huns are bad on Arabia, it's just because there are better uses of Huns on this tournament's map pool. Vo's coming up on the left side from SongSong. He is a pretty well bowlable base over here. We're playing the old version of Arabia, so these maps are a lot more well bowlable than the previous ones. Other side, we're gonna have full Vo's already from BacT. Goes for a kind of small base, but his primary goal is safe. His wood lines are well spread out, so he should have no problems accessing resources. And it looks like the first scouts from SongSong are heading towards ACCM. ACCM is walling himself up as well quite rapidly, but speaking of walling up, that's going to be a scout coming forward from BadBoy, intercepting the first villager. That spearman is actually going to ensure that the scouts of ACCM can't just hold it off very easily. This is what he's doing, look at this. He is just using one scout and one spearman to keep this open until the archer arrives, and it's a bit of a lack of coordination here from them, because they could already have those scouts from SongSong over here pushing this hole, and many people are expecting BacT and ACCM to be through from this group, but that's absolutely not guaranteed. Very nice start over here from SongSong and BadBoy. They already killed the villager. ACCM is forced to make a defensive tower over here, and now we have these walls open as well. More archers are coming in, and ACCM, he's in a bit of a trouble here. Look at this. Idle villagers beneath the TC. He's waiting for more scouts so that he can pop those out. But as long as his walls are open, there is going to be more of those Frankish scouts just channeling into his base. Archers will be able to pick off spearmen over here. And guess what? Archers from BacT are coming over to attack SongSong in retaliation, but that's not going to happen. SongSong is fully walled, so BacT's archers will be able to do no damage, and ACCM, look at this. No berries, barely any farms over here. He's going to struggle with food income now. I think these raids have already set him back quite considerably, and it's very likely he's going to lose a villager over here as well. That's going to be 2 villagers down, plus a whole lot of idle time over here. And if you take a look at these archers, indeed they bump into Vo's in the left. So they will go for BadBoy. BadBoy's got a much more exposed base over here, but he's got a defensive tower up, so he should be all good to go. It looks like the scouts will commit against the wood line, and another villager is gonna go down. ACCM is down 3 wills in this one. Left side, we are gonna have double ranges already by BacT. Second range was just finished by BadBoy right now. BadBoy garrisons the tower, so those archers should not be able to do any damage. Nice contingency walls here, just to prevent those archers from running in here. Very nice defense from BadBoy, and behind this one, as I said, ACCM is in a bit of a trouble. He's got the scout numbers, but those scouts have 0 upgrades, so this is actually still going to be a better fight for Vietnam Strategy B, and what's even more important is that ACCM is being set back very heavily. Look at this, nowhere close to Castle Age, and we already have SongSong as the first player going into Castle. That is a massive thing here. Being able to hit Castle Age this fast as the cavalry player is huge. BacT is also going into Castle, so will BadBoy be doing that? And looks like those scouts are tempted to jump on the wood line. We'll wait until they do have a scale barding over here. Quite a few archers coming in here for BacT as reinforcements to push the base of BadBoy, but it's unlikely that he can do much, and he's going to lose 2 archers over here, getting them trapped against the edge of the map. Not looking great right now for Vietnam Legends. This is a bit of a blunder though from Vietnam Strategy. Losing 3 archers here to the scouts is a mistake. Although as long as these scouts are inside and they're raiding, it's perfectly fine. And by the way, ACCM does not know that there is a hole here. So this is something that could be kept open. I think SongSong is planning to do that. SongSong probably just wants to keep this open as long as possible and just let the knights flood in, because the knights are the real deal here. Some more spearmen and archers arriving to the base of SongSong, but in the moment he gets to Castle Age and gets a couple of knights out, he should be able to clean up those archers. Scouts once again coming in, and ACCM is about to lose another villager. ACCM is down 4 vills in this one. BacT and SongSong reaching Castle Age first, as that TC, if it goes up, it's a perfect TC for SongSong, but it's a little dicey. Looks like he's gonna be lucky because BacT isn't going to hit that spot just yet. So if that TC goes up, it's perfect because it protects the back of this wood line, protects the gold mine over here, but there was some luck involved here for SongSong being able to get that up. The big deal here is that it's going to be 2 Castle Age players for Vietnam Strategy and only 1 for BacT and ACCM for a while. ACCM just clicked up, which means that he's going to be set back really heavily in knight numbers. He finally ends up cleaning this one up, which is a bit of a danger because with the support of those scouts, these crossbows could easily hit this gold mine, but that's not going to happen. Fast ballistics coming in for both BadBoy and the BacT playing 1 TC, and now those crossbows are marching through the map alone. If 4 knights plus a group of archers find them, those crossbows could easily go down, so these are extremely exposed over here, and I kind of feel like it's just a lack of vision right now for BacT and SongSong that prevents them from hitting those. They will be able to find them, though. Yeah, you see the red ping? They are completely aware of those crossbows coming in, but it looks like they want to hit ACCM's base once again, just force a fight. A 3rd TC coming in here as a follow-up for SongSong, so he's gonna play real aggressive with the knights, yet play for ATC boom. It's a little bit surprising. I feel like they could apply a little bit more pressure here with the 3rd stable instead of a 3rd TC. Bloodline's now on the way for ACCM. He does have scale barding, but he doesn't have knights. He's gonna be up against 12 knights versus 0. Crossbow numbers are much better for BacT, by the way. So BacT is on triple ranges. His opponent, BadBoy, is only on 2. But as long as there is no cavalry support, it doesn't matter. So ACCM is going to lose a stable here. He is continuously losing villagers now. His gold mine could be very exposed. This is still a risk here that SongSong and BadBoy are taking because they could easily get their army trapped. But will it matter? ACCM could easily get his eco overrun here. And honestly, even if the archer numbers are better for BacT, is he going to be able to 2v1 this one if ACCM dies entirely? It's doubtful. Because you see that the mobility advantage will be on the side of SongSong and BadBoy. They can just go wherever they want and go raid with their knights. They're already picking off a huge amount of villagers from ACCM. ACCM has lost 12 vills in this game, and that number just continues to grow. These units are now going to be sacrificed. They know exactly that they can't actually do anything with this. And look at this. BadBoy going in with the crossbows from the back of the wood line, just denying that as well. ACCM is down to 34 vills. And BadBoy and SongSong, as I said, they are not as big of an underdogs as many of the people believe they are. They're extremely aggressive, they have very good team chemistry, and they definitely caught ACCM and BacT by surprise over here. ACCM ends up with 18 villagers lost, and that number just continues to grow because these crossbows are still around. So I don't know what BacT and ACCM could do here. They are behind by 25 wheels. BacT still has a massive group of crossbows, and indeed Imperial Age into Arbalest might work. The problem that he's having is that he doesn't have mobility, so currently, if SongSong just decides to raid him, it's doubtful that BacT can stop it, or honestly, it's just better for BadBoy and SongSong to just take a fight against the crossbow numbers of BacT and keep those low and just outboom them. Because it's going to be 6 TCs combined for Vietnam strategy B over here, and it's only a second town center coming in here for BacT. ACCM is staying on 1, and look at this. Knights once again coming in here. They will just pin BacT's crossbows inside ACCM's base here, because they will be needed here to hold off those knights. 15 knights versus 4 only. And with this TC probably going up just in time, the stone and this wood line is also pretty secure. And those crossbows could easily get intercepted. That would be massive here for SongSong. He sees them. 13 crossbows could die pretty easily. He realizes that this is a fight that he can take. He turns back. With the reinforcements arriving, maybe he won't really risk taking it, but I think he still should. It's better to just grind down those crossbow numbers, especially if you can get a good surround like that, and just make sure that BacT can't go into Imperial and snowball the game with like 70 Arbalests. So I agree with this fight over here. Crossbows trying to push the base of BadBoy, but they're unable to do much right now. And as expected, many of those crossbows go down. 78 villagers already for SongSong, and BacT is nowhere close to imping here. He's at 36 crossbow, 31 for BadBoy, so it's not like BadBoy's numbers are that much worse. And BadBoy's eco is pretty much even compared to BacT's one. Knights now bashing their way through these walls over here, as the crossbows also arrive from the other direction. BacT's crossbows are all the way on the right side here. That's 21 out of the 37 he has, and he has 2 more over here. So most of his forces are on the right. He has 21 archers in queue. This is a problem for BacT. Look at this. He doesn't have the production to flood as many arbs or crossbows as he should. If he had 2 more ranges here, he would have doubled the numbers, but he's hitting a serious production bottleneck. And that's starting to show. A defensive mangonel was made back at home by BadBoy to hold off those crossbows, but BacT has to come back and defend, take this fight. BadBoy also getting close to imping over here. Old Man Willow, thank you so much for the resub. Welcome, I appreciate it a lot. Thank you, thank you. So this is probably the reason why BadBoy and SongSong are calling off the assault. They just want to get to Imperial, get to Arbalest, and finish the game with that. Although it very much seems like they might once again switch back to ACCM's side. The cavalry players, there is almost double the villagers for SongSong over here over ACCM. ACCM has taken a very serious beating over here, and I struggle to see how he could come back from this one. This has to be a very long game for Vietnam Legends to have a chance. They're 50 villagers behind. The hill now is on the side of BacT and ACCM for sure, as the knights are pretty much even here in terms of upgrades, +1, +2 on both sides. Crossbow numbers are better now for BacT. As you see, he's having a massive production bottleneck. This is so uncharacteristic of BacT. You see that he's just now realizing how many crossbows he has queued up. He's floating an enormous amount of resources with that. If he had 2 more ranges here, he would have like 80 crossbows or so. And that could have helped holding this one off. As I said, at this point, best thing that the Vietnam Legends can do is buy themselves time. Tumbling on the way for BadBoy. And you see how aggressive SongSong is playing. He was focusing on just pumping out military consistently, even give up on Boso. That's something that you see the Vietnam Strategy B team doing quite a bit. Just giving up on eco upgrades. As look at this. Now that the crossbows are chasing this group of crossbows, the knights will try to run in. Quick walls are happening from BacT, so that's not going to be a possibility, but they will just jump these TC. If they take down the TC, that's 15 villagers inside. BacT is also imping with the other town center over here, and it looks like the villagers might be able to escape, or at least some of them will, but now crossbows coming from the north as well. BadBoy and SongSong are just tearing ACCM and BacT apart over here. You see, in the moment this army moves to intercept the archers, the knights will actually get on top of those crossbows, and while there is 63 crossbows for BacT, he wants to preserve them for Imperial Age. Imp is in for BadBoy, so he's gonna have Arbalasts in a matter of moments. He will be able to take some great fights. This surround is also perfect, as Imperial Age is on the way for SongSong as well. BacT is down to 45 crossbows, and Vietnam strategy B ends up winning the game over here. BacT and ACCM call it. What a start for a series. Super aggressive opening from BadBoy and SongSong, and it showed this is really their style of playing this mode, and this is one of the reasons why they're so powerful. But they definitely caught BacT and ACCM off guard in this one. Quick look back at what exactly happened there at the beginning, because that's really what started snowballing the game, those walls being open, and from that point on, ACCM was on the back foot. Look at this. This is basically the start of the game. 40 seconds into the game, that scout is being sent forward alongside a spearman. This is pretty unconventional, because usually you wait until you have an archer, you send the spearman and the archer together. Not in this case. He sends a spearman knowing that the only defense that ACCM has here is a scout. So a scout plus a spearman will be able to beat the scout's defense from ACCM, and that's why he's able to intercept the villager here and just keep this open with the spearman until the reinforcements arrive. This is what started the entire thing. The ability to, first of all, he's going to snipe this villager eventually, but more importantly, the fact that he can keep this open means that these wood lines were open, ACCM was forced to make a defensive tower, and those are things that started snowballing the game. Then, obviously, ACCM gets delayed on the other side because he was focusing here, so he couldn't finish these walls in here, and boom. He's off from gold, he got pushed off from berries, gets set back into Castle Age, and just gets overrun by knights. This is how snowbally Empire Wars can be, and with that, Vietnam strategy B showing off strength in the first game over here against Mayans, one of the best archer civilizations in 2v2s. And Huns will also be gone now for ACCM and BacT, which is also a problem for them, I believe, because Huns would have been an extremely good civilization for Cape of Storms. They still have Magyars over there, but I feel like Huns could have been used better elsewhere. That's just my feeling in this one. Anyways, that allows us to take a look at the second game of the day. So let's take a look what we have here. Rockslide is the game we are going for. That's the first home map of Vietnam Legends over here. You see that they chose Rockslide and Canberra, two very closed or slower paced maps over here. Rockslide is also known for being able to separate the two players, so you can have sort of two separate 1v1s instead of a 2v2, which actually favors a team where the individual skill is better, and that should be ACCM and BacT. They will be in cold colors on the left side. In green, BacT as Italians, blue ACCM as Berbers, right side, Byzantines for BadBoy in yellow, and Slavs for SongSong in red. Sort of unconventional civilizations. As you see, SongSong is just going to move all his gold miners to a different gold mine. They know exactly that a single galley could deny this gold mine over here, so it makes sense to just go out here. We have seen this with Kumans, TCing this gold mine. It's a little bit more straightforward to just go and take that. There is a dock coming up for BacT over here for fire galleys. Also takes the shorefish. That's two deposits of shorefish. Very nice move over there from him. And a second dock comes up as well for him. I like this dock position as well, because this will make sure that even if he gets his gold mine pushed, he can pop out ships right in the face of the enemy ships. Stable for ACCM in blue. He currently has two scouts. And look at this. I like this idea from SongSong. He will just wall off this gold mine entirely, preventing the scouts from doing any damage. In this one, looks like BadBoy will just defend with a single dock worth of fire galleys. Spearmen also being mixed in because spearmen do have bonus damage against ships. So it makes sense to just go for the second spearman as well after the initial one. You see the blue ping over here. ACCM is telling his teammate that, hey, my opponent's gold mine is here. And the response is that, hey, I'm sort of stuck in here because I'm up against fire galleys. And now you see how spearmen deal with fire galleys here. They're surprisingly good. So it makes some sense to mix in spearmen here to these fire galley fights. Looks like BadBoy is not paying attention to his scouts as he's microing his stuff, so BacT could easily lure him into the TC fire, and indeed that's exactly what is happening. Scout goes down here from BadBoy. That's a bit of a mistake, BadBoy also needs to make a defensive tower on his gold mine as the scouts are now galloping in for a push. SongSong coming in with no production buildings whatsoever. Feels like he's just going to fast castle this one as it is, and probably go for maybe even a Huang style push if you think about that. Slavs are just as good as Celts are doing that. It could be Pike and Siege, it could be Knights and Siege, so could make sense to do something like that. We have seen SongSong and BadBoy already doing that. Especially when you have this walled off, you don't really have to be afraid of counterattacks. Markets coming in for both players on Vietnam Strategy B. Castle Age first for ACCM, though his macros seem to be a little bit better eco balance, so they could just click up slightly faster. And you are gonna have Castle Age for SongSong coming in a moment. You see the blue ping over here. Now ACCM knows that his opponent has gold mining operations here. And the last player to click up will most likely be BadBoy. Indeed, BacT just now clicks that Castle Age button. So, what's the plan now for SongSong? SongSong is making Spearmen, which to me implies that he wants to move forward, and indeed that's the case. Villagers being dispatched to get a forward siege workshop out. Meanwhile, second dog coming in here for BadBoy, and I think the big deal here is that BacT is investing a lot into his navy, but he's getting nothing out of it, right? 3 fire galleys, even 4 of them, 2 galleys, 3 docks, but he has never managed to push off his opponent from gold, so BadBoy doesn't have to invest that much, yet he's still perfectly fine protecting his gold. He had to make a defensive tower, so he doesn't have stone for an additional TC, whereas for BacT, he did not have to make a tower. That's actually a nice thing for him. There's a forward stable as well. As I said, this is the difference between a standard Pike and Siege and a Hoang style push. A Hoang style push always incorporates some heavy cavalry as well, sort of as a power unit, something that can snipe the opponent's siege. Some scouts coming in here, Bloodlines on the way for ACCM. He already starts pumping out Knights, which will make it difficult for SongSong to fight this one. SongSong is gonna need pikeman upgrade soon. He has gotten Forging. Scale Mail would also be a nice choice here, I would say. But Forging would also help his Knights, and I think that this first has to be a Monastery. But even more importantly, Pikemen. I would also love to see those 2 4 villagers being split, so they can both be killed at the same time, because that could be a massive blunder for SongSong losing both of his forward vills. Oh boy, oh boy. That's one of the vills probably down. That's why you always send 2. You send 2 villagers because you anticipate one of them being killed by the opponents. Vorgali now coming in here for BacT. There is no demos for BadBoy right now, and his Vorgali upgrade is actually queued behind the Fire Galley, so he will definitely be behind. But in exchange, there's a tower that's gonna help a tiny bit, and it's risky for BacT to dive this deep, because there could be a demo inside, and in fact, there is a demo inside here. This is very, very risky for BacT. The demo could hit those War Galleys and sink all of them pretty much. Other side, Pikemen are now in Siege Workshop as well, so Mangonels will be a thing. 2 more TCs being added as well by SongSong, so he's gonna boom behind this one, as War Galley is about to be in for BadBoy, just a little too late. There is still a demo inside here, so they definitely have the chance to jump on those ships. Fire ships will trade off against each other, but this is just a little too few for BadBoy to win that fight. So Mangonels now coming in. That's a lot of pikemen. It's a huge amount of pikemen here from our red player, SongSong. Meanwhile, second TC on the way as well for BadBoy. He purchased the 100 stone to be able to go for it, and this is the moment to pop out that demo. This is the perfect moment for that demo. It pops out, and it actually lands a massive hit in those War Galleys. This is why don't dive that deep, and this is why make your docks close to your gold mine. Because this way, if the opponent wants to dive in, they actually have to risk taking a big demo shot. It's actually looking better for Vietnam strategy, to be honest. If you look at the eco numbers, it's pretty much even. 3 TCs though already for SongSong, although he only has 12 on food, so that may not matter that much. But he's got Siege coming in, he's got a forward as well, so ACCM will be forced to defend here, whereas behind this one SongSong can have an untouched boom. And on the other side, 2 TCs for both players, but I actually like this TC spot a lot better for BadBoy. And look at this, now the Knights will struggle to hold off that battering ram, and there is a Scorpion here from ACCM, which I think is a mistake here. I think it should have been a Mangonel, because the Mangonel could have killed enemy Mangonels, enemy Rams. That Scorpion just barely survives, and while the Scorpion is better dealing with the pikemen than Mangonels are, it's not going to stop the battering ram. Mangonel is almost in, though. Repairs will come in, I think, for ACCM. I don't think that this is a Siege Workshop that goes down. Mangonel pops out, and indeed the battering ram should fall. Monk coming in here to get a conversion on the fire ships, but he's actually converting the weakest fire ship here, so that's going to be short-lived. Still, looks like the Siege Workshop actually goes down over here, so that's a loss there for ACCM, for sure. It looks like the entire navy of BadBoy is shifting to the north. This could be a mistake, because now BacT is coming from the south, but the thing is that BadBoy doesn't need to hold this gold for long. He has outside TCs on gold mines, and I think he's just waiting for the opportunity to pop on those war galleys over there. Knights coming in for a counterattack, but it's doubtful that these can do any damage here, to be honest. And as I said, these ships are just waiting for the perfect moment to strike. 3 TCs for ACCM, 4 now for SongSong, and as I said, demo pops out. That was a mistake. I think you have to pop out the fire ships first to draw away the fire of the war galleys, and then you make the demo and take that fight. Nonetheless, villagers getting turned into human barbecue, and more importantly, this fleet from BacT is getting forced back. Ecos are still dead even in this one, as the Knights also take down a couple of fire ships with them. Looks like this push has been pretty much halted for the time being. But one thing is sure, it is ACCM and BacT that have to defend. And behind this one, let's not forget that we have a Slavic farming with 4 TCs. That's a nice counterattack here by ACCM, but he only has +1 defense on those Knights. So the TC should be able to clean them up pretty easily. Another Siege Workshop coming in here from SongSong. He's not messing around. He wants to push this TC here. So really, I think the key thing here is that Berbers are on a bit of a timer. Because in late game, Berbers can do Cavalier, Slavs can do the same thing, but Berbers have probably a very underwhelming infantry compared to Slavs. So Slavs, Halberdier, and Siege, or Halberdier Cavalier combination seems more reasonable in this one. And Slavs also have a way better economy long term, so that Slavic farming is already sort of kicking in for SongSong, although he's not producing villagers consistently. The other side, even more interesting, Imperial Age on the way for our yellow player, utilizing that Byzantine bonus. That's a beautiful snipe from ACCM though. Dives in, snipes the Mangonel. Now the villager is going to vow himself in, and we're going to have 2 stables on the way for SongSong, making it 3 forward stables. He really wants to push this TC. Meanwhile, ACCM is mining stone pretty rapidly, so maybe he's thinking about a defensive castle. Nonetheless, Mangonels are coming in here. ACCM and SongSong both take a shot. ACCM actually gets the worst out of that. Other side, we have a couple of Knights coming in alongside a couple of Bears, but TCs are going to protect the economy of BadBoy over here, who is probably going to play Arbalest eventually. For now, it looks like he's just going to be careening for his fire ships, so he's got the extra Pierce armor, and then wait for fast fire and push back the off from water. So, looks like we're just going to have fire ships for now for BadBoy, which I think is a bit of a mistake. I think Arbalest Bombard Cannon would be better choice here. Ecos are still pretty close, as the Mangonel Micro is slightly better here for ACCM. He's up against 3 Mangonels, and as I said that he's got a better Mangonel Micro, there is 1 Mangonel going down from him. Docks from BadBoy are falling, but it doesn't really matter. He's got backup docks over here, and there's the defensive castle for ACCM. This would hold this Mangonel push as it is, and the monks will force back the Knights for now. 1 Mangonel gets taken down. ACCM gets another shot in. ACCM knows exactly that this castle needs to go up, and it does go up. Very nice defense there from ACCM. But what now? Against mass camel archers, in theory, Slavs struggle, but I don't see ACCM being able to go mass camel archers. He just doesn't have the time. There is fast fire ships coming in, and that's where there is going to be trouble for BacT and ACCM, because those fast fires will steamroll everything. The problem that BadBoy and SongSong are facing is that BadBoy doesn't have any army on land, and as I said, I feel like land army would be much more devastating than Navy is right now. Here come the fast fires. They also are gonna have dry dock immediately, so those war galleys will melt like butter. It's not even close. It's not even close. There is a couple of demos coming in here which can definitely slow this down. Very nice to bait one of them into a single fire ship. The other one is actually a pretty big one, and there's another demo coming in here. But as long as they take down one fire ship, that's perfectly fine. For BadBoy, that was an ugly hit though. So the demos are definitely slowing this one down here. For BadBoy, behind this one, the pikemen are actually switching focus and now pushing the base of ACCM from this side. Imperial Age on the way as well for our green player, BacT, who's going full demo defense in this one. Still no land army though from BadBoy, and I kind of feel like full fire ship in such a narrow water area is a mistake, because you are gonna get destroyed by demos here. You see, each of these docks has a demo inside, and they're just waiting for the opportunity to strike. That opportunity has just now come, and I feel like BadBoy is just making the bad strategy here. He's sort of wasting that Imperial Age. There is going to be Camel Archers in the end. By ACCM, Camels and Camel Archers on the way. But Imperial Age comes in for SongSong. And ACCM is also... No, ACCM is not imping yet, but he's about to imp right now. This is going to be interesting, because I feel like what Slavs need to do here is just outproduce you with Knights. Just flood you with Knights before the Camel Archer numbers can grow high. Right now, Camels, pretty underwhelming upgrades, only +1 defense and Bloodlines on them. Some more fire ships coming in from the north. And it looks like we will have sort of a Halberdier Siege style push here from BadBoy, because he's making multiple barracks right now. Also, the key thing that SongSong wants to achieve here, first of all, he's bashing his way through the houses instead of these palisades, which is awkward. But what he wants to achieve is to run into the base of ACCM here. Most of the wood income for ACCM comes from here, so getting in there would be pretty massive. Looks like the war galleys will come in to aid on the north, which allows BadBoy to sail in from the south. Looks like BacT is also gonna play infantry, and he's playing champion or condos. It has to be condos from BacT. Knights now galloping into the base of ACCM. There is no +2 defense on these knights, so they will die pretty easily to the town center fire over here, but in exchange, ACCM is gonna have a lot of idle time on his TCs. Camel Archers and Camels coming in to assist. This is the Imp TC, by the way, but it's not in the immediate danger of getting destroyed. As I said, the TCs clean up those knights very, very easily. This was a mistake. SongSong should have waited until he has +2 defense. And guess what? There is the Condottieri from BacT. Castle comes in from SongSong though, another castle for ACCM. ACCM's got 3 castles here, so he should have no trouble making siege, taking down this castle. On the other side, Berbers struggle really badly against Siege Ram, which means that Halberdier Siege Ram is not something that Berbers can stop, and I kind of feel like that's the game plan here for SongSong. He's got multiple siege workshops here as well. A couple of condos now running into the base of BadBoy here. BadBoy's got an overchop. That's an annoying overchop. Especially if he doesn't notice this, he's going to lose quite a bit. Against the Condottieri, Arbalest is the play, but it's going to take some time for BadBoy to get there. Trebs are already coming out. And for SongSong, right now he's got 18 pikemen, that's most of his army. And this is the moment where BadBoy realized that there's condos inside his eco. That's quite a lot of villagers down. Quite annoying for our yellow player. Here comes the Galleon push. Nice demo once again from BacT. BacT is definitely doing an amazing job holding off the fire ships here with some demos. And now the fire ships will try to burn those markets down, open up the base of ACCM. Mangonel gets baited into the castle's range. That's actually a mistake here from ACCM. He's gonna lose 2 Mangonels to this one, but as I said, 3 castles worth of trap production. This castle from SongSong should fall pretty easily. Cavalier being teched into now by our red player, SongSong. But what do we have over here? Camel Archers from ACCM, and they will find this town center. This TC isn't going up. Camel Archers will pick off those trapped villagers as well. That TC is not going up over here, and those Camel Archers will be extremely annoying when it comes to raiding. Capdram now on the way for SongSong. He still has his window, I believe, but that window is shrinking because the Camel Archer numbers are growing higher and higher as we speak. Castle's up on the right side, more Condottieri on the way. And as I said, I kind of feel like it's a mistake from BadBoy to just go water with that imp. He sort of wasted that power spike so much. And it could have been Arbalest Bombard Cannon immediately, and we could already have BacT entirely steamrolled. That did not happen. Now the Camel Archers will take a pretty nice engagement against the pikemen. Cavalier are in with +4 defense though. That's something that shouldn't be overlooked though. And this buys some time for SongSong. SongSong is floating 2000 wood by the way, same thing for BadBoy. So their macro is falling apart here. And now ACCM is the one that's really killing villagers. See, 45 vills killed already in this game. Those are really doing the work here. Now condos coming in as well, and I kind of feel like at this point SongSong and BadBoy are just stuck here. Whereas on the other side, ACCM and BacT are able to get some raids in. Something that BadBoy and SongSong never did. Never in this game were there any raids. You see that BadBoy is just now teching into Arbalest. So I kind of feel like that Imperial was sort of wasted. Now there's a couple of Capdrams over here looking at the resources of SongSong. He's not impossibly far away from Siege Ram. And I feel like Cavalier Siege Ram could still just smash the Berbers into face here, but now I think that BadBoy and SongSong are just falling apart. Here come a couple of Arbs though to clean this one up. Their eco is basically even to BacT and ACCM's eco, but I'm much more convinced in the Army of Vietnam Legends right now, although that may soon change, because there are some inefficient engagements taken here. Don't ask me why there is still fire ships here for BadBoy. I don't like this at all. I just feel like these fire ships are not doing anything right now, and there could be way better uses for them. There is Kasbah as well for ACCM, and ACCM now has 4 castles. When you actually reach stone, it suddenly becomes very easy to make unique units. You can't make unique units for a long time, because you don't have access to stone, you have to chop through a layer of trees for that. But once you manage to do that, suddenly you can just spam castles everywhere, and you can just flood Camel Archers. It's 42 now. Bombard cannons now out for BacT over here, shelling this castle. It's a Byzantine castle, so it has quite a lot of HP. At this point, however, if you look at SongSong, 15 Cavalier, 10 Pikemen versus 44 Elite Camel Archers with almost full upgrades. I'm not sure if they have Maghrebi Camels, but I don't even think it matters, honestly. Onagers and Skirmishers. Alrighty. Here come the Cavalier. The Cavalier will dive in to snipe the Bombard Cannon. That's probably the plan. Bombard Cannon also on the way for BadBoy here, so a bit of a dancing around with the cannon, just to slow this push down. That's the whole concept here. SongSong is waiting for the moment to strike with the Cavalier, I believe. Condos now coming in. Condos could snipe those Bombard Cannons very easily, and there's still a Treb. Now 2 Trebs with hill advantage, plus the Bombard Cannon shelling this castle. Loss of this castle would be enormous here for BadBoy. And it's actually going to be a castle down. It collapses under the pressure. The Cavalier waited too long to dive in. Meanwhile, here come the Camel Archers. The Onager actually got a nice shot in. Maghrebi Camels would help quite a bit when it comes to, you know, keeping those Camel Archers. There are 55 Camel Archers now, and more are coming from ACCM. I just don't see ACCM and BacT letting this slip out of their grasp. Because BadBoy and BacT are even on the right side, but ACCM has been stomping SongSong here. Now, ACCM still needs to be careful, because many of those camels are now pretty heavily damaged. So, the Onagers could easily deliver a massive punch. Alternatively, the Onager cut into a push to the starting base of ACCM could also be pretty devastating. Ecos still in the favor of Vietnam strategy B over here, as the Navy does get cleaned up. In exchange, though, this castle remains intact. Here come the Onagers, and ACCM needs to be very careful, as I said, with his Camel Archers. He needs to be really careful. He needs to be really careful. He's not noticing it, and that's going to cost him a lot of Camel Archers. Another volley comes in, and now he's going to realize it. But many of those Camel Archers are now so heavily damaged, so even TC Fire could clean up quite a lot of them. The second castle comes in here though, and the big problem I think for SongSong is that those Onager shots were nice, but the Camel Archer numbers are still at a steady 50. In the moment ACCM loses a single Camel Archer, he can remake them instantly. He's got the resource income for that, he's got the production for that, and look at that castle coming in. I just don't see SongSong stopping this one now. Onagers are in, no Siege Onager right now, no Siege Ram to just push those buildings back now. Quite a lot of Hobbiers inside this TC, but as expected, as SongSong is getting pushed back, they will just resign. Well, there's a GG timed. BadBoy already quit. SongSong hasn't quit yet, but he will in a moment. Vietnam Legends strike back over here, and I kind of feel like the key difference between the two teams was that if you look at BacT and ACCM, they were able to utilize the unique unit a lot better. So they realized that, okay, in order to stop this Hoang style push, we need a fast defensive castle, and from that point on, just chop those trees and get to the stone mine. Because once you get to the stone mine, you can just drop castles everywhere, and it's going to be impossible to break through that, plus you can just flood Camel Archers. What will be the ruling if one player resigns but the other plays on and wins? This won't happen in competitive environment because the teams are actually communicating, but technically, whoever wins the game wins the game. If you win 1v2, then your team won. It's that simple. So Berbers is going to be a win here for Vietnam Legends alongside Italians, whereas Slavs and Byzantines will be gone for BadBoy and SongSong. And it looks like we are in for an even set. Quick look at the statistics. Let's take a look at how those are looking like. So, 2.55 KD here for ACCM. Those Camel Archers just retain their value so well. You got best eco for SongSong. Did it matter? It did not, because their power spikes were misused, I believe, especially BadBoy's Imp. If BadBoy has Arbalest and Bombard Cannon and just pushes BacT from land, BacT wouldn't have been able to stop it. The reason why BacT was able to bridge through the gap between the Imperial Age time of BadBoy and his own is because it was only fast fires from BadBoy, so BacT could defend with demos. Pretty easy defense there for BacT, and that bought him time and bought ACCM time to get to Imperial. If this was a land push, it would have been a lot more devastating. Quick look at the APM graphs, and you see that if you just look at the APM, that should be much higher for ACCM and BacT. They are supposed to be the individually more skilled players, and that's something that we are seeing right now. Alright, this leaves us with an even scoreline over here, getting ready for game number 3. Game number 3 is going to be on the home map of Vietnam Strategy B. They have two very open home maps here, River Belt and the Cape of Storms. Remember that Vietnam Legends actually used up their Huns for Arabia, so they don't have it for Cape of Storms. And this is why I was criticizing that. It probably has to be Malians, but Huns would have been a much better pocket for Cape of Storms. Maybe Teutons is an idea, but whatever civilization Vietnam Legends have for Cape of Storms as a pocket, I don't like it. Berbers could have been a decent idea there as well. So I kind of feel like they are having a bit of a civilization trouble there, whereas on the other side, that's probably going to be Magyars on that one, Khmer for River Belt, and then for Canberra, I can see Bohemian Saracens working. That could be a really brutal combination. Alright, let's jump straight into game number 3. So welcome everybody to game number 3. We're gonna have BadBoy and SongSong. They're going to play a River Belt here to start with. Magyars for SongSong in red, so they actually keep Khmer for Cape of Storms. Interesting idea. I think the two civilizations are in many ways interchangeable, but I actually prefer Khmer for this map. This is also means that this is a Magyar scout versus a non-Magyar scout, so this is a fight that SongSong should win until a spearman arrives. We'll have Koreans for BacT in green and Malians for ACCM in blue. As now a scout comes in from BadBoy, trying to intercept the villager from ACCM. Other side, archer range for a Vietnamese player. Probably I prefer Vietnamese over Koreans in the long run. And Magyars over Malians, honestly. So, to me, this is a civilization advantage for Vietnam strategy B. We will have a stable up for both cavalry players. Defensive tower is already up for ACCM, whereas for SongSong, he's going to slowly start walling himself. The biggest waller right now is BacT. He's already walling off the front of his base. Rest of the players, mostly just doing slow walling. BadBoy needs to play pretty aggressive here because his gold mine is horrendous, but he's able to take some extra hunt here, which is definitely a nice thing to start with. Obviously, those Magyar scouts being cheaper and also having the attack bonus is actually a massive combination, and it looks like this could be a villager killed here by ACCM. Indeed, he is going to yoink a villager here in exchange for a scout. Other side, you're gonna have these scouts looping all the way around. They could hit the back of BacT's woodline over here. BacT's got 2 spearmen to defend for the time being, and a range for SongSong. Looks like Vietnam strategy wants to play this one in 2 separate 1v1s. Just play Skirm and Spear, or not Skirm and Spear, Skirm and Scout on the left side in this 1v1, and Archer Spear on the other side. This could work, but it's a bit of a gamble. Archer's now coming in here from BadBoy, trying to deny that wood line, but that's not gonna happen just yet. The bigger thing, though, is that they were successfully able to isolate BacT from ACCM, and considering that ACCM's gold mine was also very exposed, right now ACCM doesn't really have gold access. It's not really going to be something that matters that much at the beginning, because he's the scouts player, but, well, it definitely doesn't help him that he's off from gold. And look at this, if it's 2 separate 1v1s, I am going to have skirms and scouts here on the left side. Archers coming in from the back of the wood line, as we will have the skirms picking off the archers, and more importantly, picking off the spearmen here. Archers now looks like they are going to switch towards BacT, and BacT could easily get double teamed, but this is the risk that you're taking. In the moment that ACCM has a couple of scouts coming in to fight the skirms, suddenly the skirms are going to be an absolutely horrendous unit to use. So this only works until there is actual 2 separate 1v1s. If not, then suddenly the skirms will be a completely useless unit in this combat, and you see that SongSong is getting cleaned up. It probably would have been better to just go mass scouts, go for an early defensive upgrade, and just flood the map, maybe even with double stable scouts, or fast bloodlines could have been a possibility. Nonetheless, it is ACCM's villagers here on the hunt that gets exposed. I don't think that any of them will go down, but there is going to be damage done here. That's for sure. So, on the other hand, scouts now coming in here for ACCM, but there is multiple defensive spearmen here. It's unlikely that these scouts can kill the villagers, but the archers can. The archers, oh boy, can. So, that's a disaster. That's a disaster for BadBoy. A game-losing moment, I would say. All those villagers going down. The tower will eventually go up, but it doesn't matter. BadBoy is losing all his villagers, and this is why I feel like that Skirm and Scout play was a mistake from SongSong and BadBoy. They actually sacrificed their mobility quite a bit. Castle Age is on the way for BadBoy, but what can he do in Castle? Nothing. He cannot do anything in Castle Age. And I feel like if SongSong just went mass scouts, they would always have been able to take this fight. It's Magyar scouts, they're super cheap, you could have easily afforded the defense upgrade, and then you just steamroll those archers, steamroll those scouts, and by the way, BadBoy is off from gold, which means that it's a nice thing that he's gonna reach Castle Age, but it won't matter, because they don't have any gold income. Quick strike back here from Vietnam Legends, as we got Low Elo Nobody coming back with the 5 months of resub. Thank you so much. I kind of feel like this came down to game plan. There was just a better game plan here for Vietnam Legends. So, I was a little bit skeptical about looking at this map first for Vietnam Strategy B in the first place. Because I did mention that I think their opponents have pretty underwhelming civilizations for Cape of Storms. So if you go Cape of Storms here, I think there would have been a massive civilization advantage for BadBoy and SongSong, and they sort of gave up on that. And now it's a 2-1 scoreline, so suddenly ACCM and BacT are looking a lot stronger than BadBoy and SongSong. This could still come down to a decider game at the end, but not gonna lie, the last 2 games were a lot more convincing by Vietnam Legends. Vietnam Strategy B close to elimination, but they have Cape of Storms working for them here, and as I said, I think the better civilizations do belong to Vietnam Strategy here. They have Bulgarians and Khmer available at the same time. Bulgarians is a fun civilization to think about here. Khmer, I think it would have been better to just go Magyars on Cape of Storms and Khmer on this map. Well, looks like they keep Khmer. It's either going to be Khmer or Bulgarians as pocket, and probably Portuguese flank for Vietnam Strategy B. Whereas on the other side, what even is that going to be? I think it's Aztec flank for a very aggressive archer opening, or maybe Cumans. Could it be Cumans Aztecs? Cumans pocket Aztec flank? Or could be Aztec Cuman flank as well, and then Teutons pocket. Definitely not Burgundians, that's not an option here. Burgundians can only go to Canberra if we are going to see them. Let's jump straight into game number 4 over here. So, welcome everyone to Cape of Storms. BacT coming in as blue Cumans and Teutons for ACCM in green. Looks like it's going to be a Cuman archer play here. You get the discount on your production building, so it makes quite a lot of sense to go for the production buildings by themselves. BadBoy coming in with the Portuguese in red and Saracens for SongSong in yellow. I kind of feel like Vietnam Strategy is doing everything they can to throw away this set. I'm not gonna lie, they're actually having horrendous civilization picks here. Saracens is the worst possible option you can go for. You could have gone Bulgarians, insanely good feudal cavalry. You could have gone with Khmer, a very strong economy, you can jump into houses so you're virtually unraidable. What's the concept behind Saracens other than a massive market abuse? I mean, I can see just going full gold mining, no macro, buying the food for stable work, and it looks like that's the plan. I may have doubted them, but there is some idea behind this one. Look at this. They're able to afford fast forging and a second stable immediately. This is one of the cheesiest way to play this map, and it's by far not sustainable. But it's out of the box, and it could be out of the box in a good way. Because, look at this. Scaleboarding, forging, and double stable scouts production, if they are actually able to sustain this, this is a massive, massive advantage, and they're already going in for the wood line of ACCM. BacT had to make a defensive tower on his gold mine, third range coming in for him, third range as well for BadBoy. The key player here is SongSong. He already has +1/+1, plus double stable scouts, but can he actually sustain this one? Looks like he can, and he already has bloodlines queued up. Holy smokes. This is a brutal build here from SongSong. This is a brutal build. First time I'm seeing this, and it looks like SongSong and BadBoy are gonna be the architects of some surprising strategies here. As weird and as gimmicky as this is, I love it. Using the zone to be sold, the fact that you can just balance your eco really fast, and you can just send all your viewers to gold, that's their thing. That you don't have to chop wood, make farms, and wait until your farms return their value. You just go gold and buy the food that you need. And look at this. Now it's Bloodline Scouts with +1/+1. ACCM has +1 attack, and that's it. Those scouts are now going to be the kings of the battlefield, and I mentioned this many times when we saw these games, that it's going to be about who gets to bloodlines and the defense upgrade fast. Because whoever gets there is going to have an advantage when it comes to just taking fights against the opponent's scouts and also the archers of the opponent. And look at this. BadBoy is actually distracting the forces of BacT, which allows more scouts to come in here And the damage is already being done. No hunt for ACCM. There is no hunt either for SongSong, but he could move out anytime he wants. A villager goes down. The eco for ACCM is still better because he's got fishing ships, but look at this. He doesn't have bloodlines, and that's going to start showing. Now those archers are getting a little bit caught off guard as more archers come in to intercept reinforcements from BacT. As I said, this is far from sustainable though, so this gets worse and worse gradually, and when the Teuton farming eco kicks in, suddenly it's going to start being better and better for the Teutons, and I kind of feel like the damage is not enough here by SongSong and BadBoy. They have killed a grand total of 2 villagers, and when you have this big of an advantage into bloodlines and the upgrades on the blacksmith, you want to kill a lot more. Now, here is the thing though, they are just about to get this fight in, but now ACCM has same scouts. And from this point on, Teutons are going to be better in most ways. These archers will probably get cleaned up, but at least a couple of villagers go down from ACCM and BacT, so there is some positives here for BadBoy and SongSong. Castle Age on the way though for BadBoy. This could be a deciding factor. This could be a massive deciding factor over here, because a fast crossbowman play could be enormous here with Portuguese. And on the other side, there is Castle Age on the horizon for BacT, but that half a minute difference could be just enough for BadBoy and SongSong to snowball the game with crossbows. And look at that. BadBoy just hit his crossbows on that little peninsula, hiding it from the scouts, and this is what matters. Added to the fact that there is more scouts coming in from ACCM, and of course SongSong, but SongSong is the one attacking ACCM here. That is the big thing here. That is the big thing. Big scout scuffle, but this allows the archers to hit the back of ACCM's wood line. This was all just a diversion, and I love that. That 2 more villagers go down from ACCM, he's at 41 vills, and that includes fishing economy. Whereas on the other side, we now have fishing eco as well for SongSong. This is an enormous build here from SongSong, and I really like it. Now, archer numbers, those are better for BadBoy, and as I said, he's got a 30 seconds head start into Castle Age. That would mean crossbows, and the crossbows could easily deny half of that gold mine over there. This is looking really good for Vietnam strategy B over here, and what's even better is that those scouts could easily run into the base of BacT now. And as much as Teutons in the long run will be better than Saracens as a cavalry civ, Portuguese will also be a lot better than Humans will as an archer civ. DanSong, thank you so much for the sub for the 3rd month. Welcome, I appreciate it. And we only need to wait 20 seconds for those crossbows to arrive. And you see there is already a group of archers moving in, as DanSong is also gifting 9 subs. Thank you so much as well. Crossbows are in. Crossbows are queued up as well for BacT, but his wood line is now getting pushed. And as I said, I kind of feel like this power spike could be enough for Vietnam strategy B here, because there's going to be no wood income soon for BacT. The scouts will jump on the wood line. At this point, you can probably sacrifice them because they will die to the crossbows anyways. So, might as well jump on that wood line and just keep slaughtering villagers. Behind this one, crossbows will try to push the gold mine as well. BadBoy and SongSong are looking strong here, and it's going to be a shame that one of these 2 teams will be eliminated from the group stage. And currently, it is going to come down to the final game. Look at this. Castle Age on the way for SongSong. No Castle Age just yet for ACCM. And that final power spike of Knights could be brutal. Beautiful trap here though from ACCM. Traps all those scouts inside. So at this point, SongSong, the best thing he can do is just run around and force BacT to defend with those crossbows. Scouts coming in to the other side. Villagers might get intercepted, as indeed a few of them will probably go down. Crossbows and the spearmen should be able to hold this off though. There is going to be a second TC in for BadBoy. That's also going to help quite a bit, securing some extra wood. And on this map, which is so cutthroat and so aggressive, a second TC, which gives you some additional safety and gives you some additional chance to produce villagers, is pretty big. Only 11 crossbows though for BadBoy, 30 from BacT. So the army numbers are now double for Vietnam Legends, but these scouts also getting cleaned up means that it's actually going to be double the army. However, the TC goes up, and what's even more important is that SongSong is going to start making knights. This is where, as I said, SongSong and BadBoy will have to close the game out, because there is not even the Cavalier upgrade for Saracens here. So they have to win this before Imperial. On the other hand, there is not a single knight right now for ACCM, because guess what, he's still Feudal Age, and now we already have Ballistics in for BadBoy, no Ballistics just yet for BacT, which means BacT is gonna be careful with those fights. A villager gets picked off by these scouts here, by ACCM, nice move. There is a need for like one knight or one light cav to clean this up. This is actually a problem here for BadBoy, he's losing too much against those scouts. Those are villagers wasted. They still have the advantage, and oh, this could be big. The University Denied could be the final nail in the coffin in this game for BacT. He won't have ballistics for a long time, and those crossbows already have +2 defense, ballistics, and Thumbring just finished for BadBoy. Those are fully upgraded Castle Age crossbows, and BacT doesn't have a University. He's gonna have his University Denied for a long time, and his teammate, ACCM, is not in Castle Age yet. Knights with +2 defense and +1 attack, galloping into the base of ACCM. On the other hand, BadBoy makes a bit of a mistake here, running into the crossbow fire of the opponent, but he's got the ballistics and Thumbring advantage in here. ACCM will be forced to make another defensive tower. These scouts are doing work here for ACCM. They really do. So ACCM is being very useful with those scouts, but that's basically it. Fire Galley, a single Fire Galley from SongSong is going to destroy the fishing eco of ACCM over here. And as I said, as long as there is no ballistics for BacT, this will just be worse and worse. Knights will deny the gold income from ACCM. ACCM does have free stables, but he can barely afford to make knights because his gold income is just being denied. And now the crossbows will hit the back of this wood line as well. Another villager goes down. 20-ish villagers lead already for Vietnam strategy over here, and now crossbows camp beneath the tower of BacT over here. The knights drew away the fire, and the crossbows just run into camp beneath the tower, which means no gold income for BacT. ACCM's gold income was denied for a long time. And behind this one, even though these scouts are definitely doing work, there is already 2 TCs for BadBoy, and SongSong is gonna have 2 TCs as well in a matter of moments. If you look at the villager KD, that tells a lot about the game now. 16 villagers lost by BacT, now it's 18, not a single villager killed. ACCM has 12 and 14, which is pretty nice, mostly caused by these scouts, by the way. But BacT has been punched really heavily, he's down to 39 villagers, and as I said, ACCM's fishing eco is also gonna go down here to the fire galleys. He's just too focused on land, and that university being denied is probably the final nail in the coffin for BacT, as I said. I just kind of feel like this is something that Vietnam Legends won't be able to come back from. +2 defense just now coming in for ACCM. You can tell how much his eco was damaged. That +2 defense is only just now coming in. 25 villagers discrepancy, and that could grow really rapidly because the crossbows are about to hit the back of this wood line. Another range coming in for BacT, but that's going to be probably 3-4 more villagers down as well. And behind this one, knights are already bashing their way into the base of BacT. This is a little bit risky here for SongSong and BadBoy, but they do have Thumbring, they do have +2 defense and ballistics, so they should be more than happy to take this fight. And as long as this army is fighting here for Vietnam Legends, there is going to be knights galloping into the base of ACCM. I don't think there's a way back here for Vietnam Legends. This Saracen scout strategy is very cheesy, first time I'm seeing this, but it actually turns out to be a very good strategy. Very out of the box, and I love it that way. BacT calls the GG here, and with that, Vietnam Strategy B strikes back, and we have an even scoreline here. Saracens being used to perfection. Really, the key thing here was that you didn't have to establish a food eco to flood scouts, get the upgrades, and get the castle age in. You can just go for scouts immediately because you don't need good macro, just send villagers to gold, buy food, and you make scouts from double stables immediately. You don't have to chop wood to make farms, you don't have to wait until the farms return their value. Establishing farming eco is the longest thing to do, to be honest, in these scout situations. It takes quite a lot of time to establish that, and with the Saracens you pretty much just skip that. as it is actually a very good use of the Saracens here. First time I'm seeing this and I was skeptical about that, but boy oh boy does this work really well. And with that, we'll take a quick look at the stats, as one of the key things is this one. Those castlage time differences between the pockets. That was partially caused by the fact that ACCM was already set back in feudal, but if you look at the army numbers, that tells a lot. Look at that yellow, like darker yellow graph, and the green one. SongSong consistently had more army than ACCM, just because he was able to, you know, pump the scouts out really early, thanks to Saracens and the market usage. This is a strategy I do expect to be sort of stolen from Vietnam strategy B here in the future rounds. So, with that, we are gonna have game number 5 coming in here. So, with that being said, let's jump straight into game number 5 over here. We're going to Canberra, the last map of this series, Vietnam Strategy B versus Vietnam Legends. In here, let's take a look at what we have. So, Burgundians for ACCM in blue, and we're gonna have BacT as green in Malay. Other side, Bohemians for BadBoy in yellow, and to the left it's gonna be SongSong as red Khmer. Oh boy, Bohemians versus Burgundians. Khmer is an interesting choice here, and I'm not sure what to think of that, as we have dogs coming in here to the middle from both ACCM and SongSong in this one. So, we're gonna have BacT as Malay in green, as I said. Fast market coming in here from him. He's not doing a lot other than that. So, you got one range producing archers. He might try to buy himself up to Castle Age, go for an early Castle Age here with Malay. That could be part of the plan. Double dogs from the Khmer player and the Burgundians one. I'm really puzzled by the Khmer here, as we will have archers on the way from BadBoy for now. He's not mining stone, so there's gonna be no Hussite wagons in the foreseeable future. Only a barracks for SongSong that he starts with, so not much of a land production for him. He's going fully on water. I feel like they're actually over anticipating the importance of water here, because there is one player that's just dedicated to go for full water control, but really that fish, while it's big, it can be easily denied. So a single tower would deny that fish. I kind of feel like in Empire Wars, the importance of that fish is kind of small. So, archers now moving in for our Burgundians. While BadBoy, behind this one, just building up a food eco, no horse color from anyone other than ACCM. ACCM has already gotten Boso, and that actually helps him produce ships here. So better wood income means that he is going to be able to outproduce his opponent here in terms of fire galleys. As I said, I don't think that this fish here in Empire Wars is that important. We haven't really seen that many players really booming away with that fish. And behind this one, BacT will have to protect ACCM here from that archer aggression, because ACCM was only doing Navy, which allows these archers to start pushing him. First to Castle Age will be BacT with melee. He saw the 100 stone to be able to go up. We will have, as I said, bit of a water scuffle over here, whereas on the other side, Castle Age is coming in first for BadBoy, and this is where things could get problematic for ACCM. Those chemistry crossbows could easily steamroll the entire game over here. So, Castle Age on the way, double ranges for BadBoy. Looks like he won't be playing with a castle anytime soon, so no Hussite wagons. It's just gonna be full crossbowmen. Obviously, BacT is gonna be up to Castle Age much faster, so he's gonna have crossbows in a moment, going for triple ranges, and he's probably about to push SongSong. SongSong is adding a second layer of wall, but his gold mine is still exposed from this side, and it looks like he will probably switch to elephants here. I don't think it's gonna be knights. It feels more likely that we'll see elephants and chemistry crossbows coming in here soon. I don't like this fight for BadBoy, so indeed he decides to run away. Whereas behind this one, as I said, SongSong coming in here with Castle Age. He does have one fire galley in each of his docks, and he has some more queued up. So there's a chance he will get the war galley upgrade and still take this fight. And now it looks like those archers are back. ACCM will be forced to wall behind this one, but there's only one crossbowman, and guess what? There is a lot of open parts of this wall over here, so that is going to be a concern for ACCM to hold. Meanwhile, I think that these could have been stone walls as well for SongSong, for the sake of just making sure that those crossbows never break through, and it looks like SongSong is just gonna play standard knights here, no elephants. I think elephants would have been the better choice, but maybe he's afraid of monks. Nonetheless, that's crossbow in for BadBoy. University on the way, as well as a monastery. We could get a monk out easily to pick up some relics. Obviously, chemistry is a pretty expensive upgrade, so it's going to take some time until BadBoy gets it, and he's also going for ballistics first. Castle Age on the way for ACCM, going for the contingency walls, as he is going triple stable, soon to be Cavalier, but the Cavalier will still die to chemistry crossbows. So I feel like ACCM is in serious trouble here. So, we're gonna have Burgundians, Vos not holding long enough over here, as ACCM will be forced off from his initial wood lines. There is some reinforcements here from BacT, so I don't think that these crossbows right now can do much. Chemistry on the way for BadBoy, but as I said, it's an expensive upgrade for Castle Age standards, and it's also something that takes quite a lot of time to research. Looks like SongSong is actually going for knights, and I want to highlight something here. Look at this dock placement from ACCM. This actually blocks these shallows and prevents the knights from running straight from the base of SongSong to the base of ACCM. The knights from SongSong have to come all the way out here, down into the base of BadBoy, and then in here, instead of just running past here in the middle. Second TC on the way for our green player BacT. You already have a second one up for BadBoy as well. But I like that the market is being destroyed here. It's going to hurt ACCM's eco quite heavily. ACCM is trying to get Cavalier, but I mean, he only has 2 of them, so his numbers aren't really impressive. And now those chemistry crossbows will start coming in clutch. There is no +2 defense on either side in this one, and ballistics in for both sides, no tumbling on either side either. So, as things stand, the archer players are pretty much even economically, the cavalry players as well, but it's ACCM's base that's getting pushed, and that's going to hurt him in the long run. Plus, Burgundians, their eco bonus is to grab the cheap eco upgrades early. He has gotten Heavy Plow and Boso, but that's where his eco bonus ends, whereas Khmer will have a consistent eco bonus with basically that insane farming eco that they have. You don't have to place mills all around to make it efficient, and even the blacksmith goes down. That's a good decision as well, I believe. It's going to force ACCM to build a new blacksmith if he wants to grab additional upgrades. ACCM, on the other hand, is actually going for the fish in the middle, and this is why I feel like someone needs to make a tower here to deny the fish. If you just let that slip there, that's a massive food income and infinite as well, pretty much. So that's enough to turn a game around. Slight eco advantage right now for Vietnam strategy B over here. So, as things stand, this force isn't really capable of doing much though. And this is when I kind of feel like you need something that breaks this stalemate. For example, a forward castle. Obviously, neither of the players has actually any stone miners right now, so there is gonna be no forward castle, but I kind of feel like we have entered the stage of stalemate here. As things stand, the walls will be burned down by the fire galley, which means that there is gonna be an opening into the base of BadBoy, who is, by the way, starting to collect relics here. He will have a pretty decent amount of relics, and now it looks like we're coming in with Siege Workshop and forward stables as well. Looks like BadBoy and SongSong want to apply the pressure, but they have to be careful. Because one thing that we shouldn't overlook is that Malay can go to Imperial pretty fast here. And chemistry crossbows are nice, but once Malay have Imperial Age and Arbalest, suddenly it is a whole lot easier for the Malay to stop the Bohemians here. Mangonel shot comes in here. Very nice shot from ACCM there, and you gotta be careful. Because, well, chemistry crossbows definitely do a lot of damage to mangonels, a lot more than ordinary crossbows. They don't have the range advantage, unlike arbalests. Still, the mangonel goes down, and ACCM, unable to make a new mangonel here, stable goes down as well, and now elephants are starting to move in. And boy oh boy, I feel like we could be in for an upset here. We could be in for a massive upset. Because as things stand, the first player to click into Imperial is BadBoy, and what's even more important is that ACCM is forced to go for a mass migration. And on the other side, there is barely any push going on. So, Cavalier and the crossbows will now take one decisive fight, but I feel like ACCM's eco may have already taken too big of a beating. His entire farming eco is gone, and now here comes the fight, but as things stand, those crossbows with chemistry will win that fight. And the elephants are just perfect to soak up arrow fire. ACCM's cavalry is going down at a very, very rapid pace. So, with that being said, I kind of feel like we're in for a surprise over here. I gave 70% chance for ACCM and BacT to move past the BadBoy and SongSong. Many people have said that BadBoy and SongSong may be the best team that ends up getting eliminated from the group stage. That's not what's gonna happen. SongSong and BadBoy move in to the quarterfinals. Holy smokes, are they strong. And as I said, I kind of feel like in the Riverbelt game, they just picked the wrong strategy. It was not necessarily about the execution anytime, it was more about the strategy. They're really aggressive, and when we looked at this first set, I was like, this could be a close one. But there was no guarantees. There was a chance that ACCM and BacT would just soar past BadBoy and SongSong. ACCM and BacT has played really well in the previous rounds. Yet, guess what? ACCM and BacT get surprised over here by SongSong and BadBoy, and so far they are the surprise team of the tournament. Really feel like the maps, the Empire Wars style, actually fits them so well. Both of them are very good Empire Wars players. And it looks like this 2v2 setting with the maps we have is something that also helps quite a bit to them. Quick look at the statistics here, but this was all about the fact that I think the key was that SongSong bailed out on water a lot faster. He realized, okay, I can't take water. ACCM won water, but what did ACCM get out of water? Absolutely nothing. And they just double teamed the opponent's water player, ACCM. BadBoy, with those chemistry crossbows, 3.4 KD, 61 kills to 18 deaths. BadBoy and SongSong are in the quarterfinals. Definitely the surprise of the tournament so far, and I'm really curious what they can do. In this group where Heresy, so Miguel Andogao, ACCM and BacT, BadBoy and SongSong, and Alice and Bling were teams, It was expected that Heresy and Vietnam Legends pass, but that is not exactly what happened. SongSong and BadBoy, one of their best performances so far as a team. Very nice game in the end, and they will be in the quarterfinals.